Hello, this is Tori with LANDiO. We have a new 40-acre property in Wyoming with amazing mountain views that is bordered by BLM land on 3 sides. This is the 40-acre parcel highlighted in green. The red lines are easements that provide access to the property. Along the entire west boundary, the property borders roughly 155 acres of BLM land shaded here in yellow. And then along the entire south and east boundaries, the property borders roughly 30,000 contiguous acres of BLM land. All of this yellow shaded area is BLM land, and you can see that it is contiguous and it extends up into the Pedro Mountains that surround the property. And over here to the west, you have what is called Pyramid Peak. That is the tallest point within the Pedro Mountains. This area of Wyoming where the property is located is abundant with rivers, reservoirs for fishing, boating, water sports. This 40-acre property in Wyoming has gently rolling terrain, borders BLM land on 3 sides, and has amazing views of the surrounding Pedro Mountains. A bit of interesting history on the Pedro Mountains. In June of 1934, the Pedro Mountain mummy was discovered. We're going to provide a link to this article about the Pedro Mountain mummy on yohistory.org. It's a project of the Wyoming State Historical Society, and you can read more about this mummy. This is an example of you'll never know what you find. I'm sure you've heard from at least one source over the last year or so about all the UFO stuff the government is releasing. And having looked at all these properties in my lifetime, I have yet to find an alien, a spaceship, a Sasquatch, a Bigfoot, a skinwalker, abominable snowman, a reptilian, a shapeshifter. Not to say that these things don't exist, we just haven't seen them. But it would make for a cool viral video. Okay, back to this 40-acre property in Wyoming. And just to reconfirm, there were no mummies found on this property. This is looking north. You can see the Pedro Mountains there. And this is standing at the north boundary of the property, looking north. There you can see some old fencing that runs along the north boundary. Now we're looking west, more of the Pedro Mountains to the northwest. If you've watched our videos and looked at our properties over the years, you'll notice that we talk a lot about public land. BLM land, which stands for Bureau of Land Management. To learn more, go to blm.gov, and there you'll find the U.S. Department of the Interior's Bureau of Land Management. BLM land is public land that is owned by the citizens of the United States through the United States government. And one of the many things that people like about owning property that borders BLM land is that you have access to that land for recreational purposes, hunting, hiking, camping. So let's say, for example, you're here on the property and you're looking to the west at these mountains. You're admiring them and saying, you know what, I'd really like to own that mountain over there. Well, that's not possible. This is public land. Now, if you're standing on your property looking to the west at this mountain here and you're saying to yourself, wow, that mountain is beautiful. I'd love to go hike up that mountain, explore those beautiful rock formations, see what the view is like from the high elevation point, then have at it. Another nice part is that you don't have to outlay the capital to enjoy it. This public land around the property is extremely valuable. If we zoom out, you can see that the majority of the land around here is public land. The land where there is no shaded area, that is private land. And the majority of this private land is owned by large ranches, leaving very few private individually owned parcels. And one of the reasons this land is so desirable is because all of the things around it. Just to the west, you have the North Platte River. The North Platte River runs north and south all around this area and creates these hydroelectric dams. First, you have the Alcova Reservoir, then you have the Pathfinder Reservoir. The Pathfinder Reservoir is a little under 6 miles west of the property and contains over 22,000 surface acres. It's desirable for fishing, boating, water sports. In the winter, they have an ice fishing event. The Pathfinder Reservoir is popular for walleye, brown, rainbow, and cutthroat trout. Then north of the Pathfinder Reservoir, you have Fremont Canyon, where the North Platte River flows through the canyon, creating a beautiful dramatic backdrop while you're fly fishing. And then south of the Pathfinder Reservoir, the North Platte River creates the Miracle Mile. The world-famous Miracle Mile is actually a 5.5-mile stretch of the North Platte River fed by the Seminole Reservoir. It's just 30 miles southwest of Casper, Wyoming. It is an extremely fertile tailwater that offers anglers a chance to catch enormous trophy trout, and with approximately 4,000 fish per mile, you'll have plenty of opportunities to catch the fish of a lifetime. This area is boatable but much more effective for wade fishing. That information comes directly from the Visit Casper website. To give you an idea where the property is located, this is the 40-acre parcel highlighted in green, and this red line shows you the path to the nearest county road, which is Cortez Road. At this intersection where Pedro Mountain Ranch Road intersects with Cortez Road is gravel, but just north of that intersection it turns into pavement. And that paved road will then take you directly to Alcova, Wyoming, where it intersects with State Highway 220. And the distance from the property to that intersection is about 19 miles. In the small town of Alcova, you'll find food and fuel. There's a bar and grill, post office, bait and tackle shop. And then from Alcova, State Highway 220 takes you directly into Casper. Casper is the second largest city in the entire state of Wyoming, population around 60,000. Casper is about 50 miles from the property, takes you about an hour and 10 minutes roughly based on this information. In Casper, you'll find a hospital, big box retailers like Target, Home Depot, Sam's Club, Walmart. There are multiple grocery stores, Tractor Supply Company. You'll also find the Casper-Natrona County International Airport. They offer direct flights from Denver to Casper. There's also the University of Wyoming at Casper, and the Haugadon Basin ski area, providing you the opportunity for mountain winter sports. This photo here, we're showing you Pedro Mountain Ranch Road. You can see how lush and green this area is in the summertime. These photos were captured around April 20th. You can see some of the green shoots coming out of the ground, and there were some late snowstorms this year. If we were to go photograph this property today, you'd see a lot more greenery, not just on the property itself, but also all of the surrounding BLM land, the mountains, etc. This is a Google Earth terrain view where south of the property looking north, you can see that yellow shaded BLM land bordering three sides of the property, west, south, and east. Now we're east of the property looking west. You can see some of that rolling terrain and the beautiful Pedro Mountains surrounding the property. That peak elevation is Pyramid Peak. And again, you can see that yellow shaded area. All of that is public land. So if you want to go hike up to Pyramid Peak and see if you can find another mummy, have at it. Now we're north of the property looking south. Gives you a little more perspective on the role of the terrain. Also that BLM land bordering the property. I mean, look, just south you have these beautiful rock formations. And now we're west of the property looking east. Again, you can see the role of the terrain. 40-foot easement coming in to give you access to the northeast corner. If we look back here, the BLM land that borders the property to the west, roughly 155 acres, has a named creek, Monument Creek, running through it, which creates a magnet for wildlife. Here's some mule deer and pronghorn antelope our photographer saw when he was out by the property. Wyoming is the least populated state of all 50 states in the entire United States. What it lacks in population of people, it makes up for in abundance of wildlife. Some of the wildlife you'll find in Wyoming include elk, moose, deer, pronghorn antelope. This particular area of Wyoming is considered to be the pronghorn capital of the United States. You'll also find bighorn sheep, black bear, mountain lion, and a wide variety of other game and fowl. The Wyoming Game and Fish Department website has a lot of great information. And there were wildlife tracks and droppings on the property. And these white circles represent nearby landowners that have developed their properties to varying degrees. Here are photos of some of the neighbors. You can see what they've done. Many of them will have a main home and then some accessory buildings, but yet some people will just have a camper or an RV and be using the property recreationally or seasonally, while others may live here full time. Electricity is in multiple directions, the closest being about a mile to the east. Many people in this area will choose off-grid solutions like solar and wind. And you can have multiple dwellings on the property. Something to consider may be a log cabin, a kit cabin, a shipping container, an arched cabin. You could have multiple arched cabins on the property. And speaking of cabins, we're excited to announce that we've launched an entirely new channel called Cabin Impossible. We have some really exciting plans in development for Cabin Impossible. Please be an early supporter by going over to our YouTube channel, Cabin Impossible. We'll provide a link in the description below. Watch the short trailer and then subscribe to the channel. And once you've subscribed, please share the channel with everyone that you know and ask them to subscribe as well. And this contour map shows the elevation on the property. It ranges between 6,920 feet and 6,880 feet, so roughly about a 40-foot change in elevation throughout the property. You can see that roll of the terrain. We have this 40-acre property in Wyoming with amazing mountain views of the surrounding Pedro Mountains, bordering nearly 30,000 acres of BLM land, and that borders BLM land on three sides. This property is priced at $125,000. All the property details are listed here on our website. The property taxes are only $155 a year for the entire 40-acre property. There's no HOA fee or assessments. We have a lot of additional detailed information within the listing description. If the property is of interest, we recommend you take the time to read through all this information. We have the distances to nearby points of interest and links where you can find more information about those locations. Here we have the GPS coordinates and links where you can open those GPS coordinates on a Google map. There are over 100 images of the property and the surrounding area. All of these images have captions, many many of them have labels. I highly recommend you take the time to look through all these images. They'll answer many questions that you have and even some you had not thought of. And then at the bottom of the page, we also have the interactive map embedded within the site. If you'd like to open it on a full screen, just click this View Full Screen button right here, and that will open it in a new tab. At LANDiO, we work extremely hard to make it super easy for you to purchase land. What's special about land is that each parcel is unique. There is only one of each parcel. We often refer to it as an original work of art, crafted by the hand of God. And just like an original work of art, there is only one. There is only one of each parcel, which does create somewhat of a challenge. Rather than people fight over a new property and say, hey, I'll pay a little more than the next guy, we use a simple, straightforward, flat price method. And we sell our properties on a first-come, first-served basis. So the first person that places the deposit is the one that secures the property. And the price includes everything. There are no commissions or fees, so your total purchase price for this property is just the $124,997. You can do that by clicking this Buy Now button. That's going to add a $499 deposit to your cart. This $499 deposit is credited towards the purchase. And again, there's no other cost. You just simply click Checkout. This window appears where you enter all your contact information, click Continue to Payment, enter your payment information, and complete the checkout process. As soon as the checkout process has been completed, we'll receive an instant notification your $499 deposit has been made, and this Buy Now button will automatically turn gray and say out of stock. Again, we only have one of each property available. Now, if you're looking at this property and the Buy Now button is gray and says out of stock, and it says under contract where the price is listed, that means someone has placed a deposit but they have not yet completed the purchase. During that period of time, you do have the ability to place a backup deposit. Your backup deposit will secure your place in line. If the current buyer were unable to complete the purchase, you'll be then the new buyer. If they do complete the purchase, your $499 backup deposit will be refunded to you. The remaining balance may be paid by wire transfer, cashier's check, ACH bank draft, credit card, debit card, or any combination of these methods. We also accept cryptocurrency, precious metals, and again, you can use a combination of those methods. If you're wondering what it's like to do business with us, go over here to our Testimonials tab, and there you'll find video testimonials from just a handful of our hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of happy customers. The most recent one we released is from Donita in Wyoming, and she talks about her experience of purchasing a property in Wyoming. So please, if you have not yet done so, go check out those testimonials. If you have any questions, our phone number is on the top of every page of our website. That number is 866-8LANDiO. That's 866-852-6346. That number also receives text messages. We have a live chat feature here on our website where you can communicate with us in real time. If we're not available for whatever reason, please send us a message or respond to our next availability. You can also fill out this contact form here on our website or send us an email directly. Our email address is hello@landio.com. Now, on behalf of myself, my family, and the entire team here at LANDiO, we sincerely appreciate your continued support. Please help us reach more people by sharing our website, our videos, and our properties with everyone that you know. The more people that we reach, the more dreams of land ownership we can make come true, and it would be an honor to add you to the LANDiO family of happy customers. Thank you and God bless. LANDiO. Land is opportunity. Please click in the upper left-hand corner and subscribe to our YouTube channel. In the upper right-hand corner, we have all of our available properties in a playlist. In the lower right-hand corner, we have a playlist of our Land is Opportunity series. And in the lower left-hand corner, we have our LANDiO Unscripted series.